Hey everybody, welcome back to the Law and Crime Network. I'm Michel Bryant along with Katherine Katie Smith. We are here for the first chunk of the afternoon session. And if you've been with us at all this morning, you know we've been in Georgia for the Rosenbaum case as the defense is putting on their witnesses and trying to convince this jury that anything that happened to little Layla Marie was just kind of a kid goofing around and no abuse was involved. They are on a break. They're on their lunch break there back at 1:30. Of course, we will rejoin that when they are back at it as the trial really is winding down. In the meantime, brand new trial for you. We mentioned it yesterday. It's taking place in Florida. Grant Amato is the defendant. He is accused of killing his father, his mother, his brother, all because he had a bit of a thing for a porn star cam girlfriend, and she needed a lot of money. There she is. That's a high maintenance there. She needed about 200 grand according to the prosecution. And not only did the defendant, in their opinion, take that money from his parents and brother, he then killed them to get the further money from the insurance. So we are live in that case right now, still in the opening statements. This is the prosecutor, Mr. Stewart. Let's go into the courtroom. So that's quite a bit to process there. This is the prosecutor, Stuart Stone, suggesting to this jury that the defendant was so obsessed with his Bulgarian cam girl that it led him to kill, first to spend a bunch of money that he had gotten from his parents and his brother, then to kill them in the hopes of getting more money from the insurance. So I'm telling you, Katie Smith is here with me. I think we've stepped into a doozy here. What do you think, first of all, of just about the general process this prosecutor is going through? He read from a letter that the defendant allegedly wrote to some folks in, I guess, the cam girl chat room that they shared time with, and confessing all of his vile for his parents, etc. Interesting tactic.
Interesting tactic, but I mean, this is a case we all can relate to, right?
Of course. I mean, how many of us haven't had, you know, a Bulgarian cam girl from a porn site? I mean, if I could have $1 for every time I've heard that story, I could pay for a minute with her.
It's yeah, good point. It's really bizarre. And listen, we heard in some of our recent trials last week, I believe, the power of using the defendant's own words against them. And there's also some interesting evidentiary issues with being able to read into the opening statement something that hasn't yet been entered into evidence. So I think it's an interesting tactic, but it certainly bears a lot of weight. Yeah,
and that ability to do that in the opening, and you point that out, is, Florida is very, everything is open, everything is in the air, and I'm assuming there was some showing prior to trial that this is going to be introduced either without objection or somewhat redacted, and so they said, okay, now you can use it. Okay, here's your test. Can you pronounce the name of the cam girl in the chat room?
I'm not even going to
try. Here's my best guess. I think Sylvia in a kind of a Bulgarian spelling, but Sylvia Venceslavova. That's what I'm going with, Venceslavova.
Yeah, I guess that's more dignified than just keep calling her the cam girl.
Yeah,
right?
It's a challenging name. Finally, all of the tennis I watched, has paid off. All the women's tennis, because all of those names sound kind of like this. Venceslavova. So she is really key to this case, even if she's real. We're not even sure she's real. Let me ask you, as we begin this, the defense is going to start, and we're getting the sense that the defense is Brother Cody did this. Is that the sense you're getting at this point?
I did. I got that sense. I mean, and it's hard, right? Because here we have such a concrete motive. They have to shift the actual blame for the physical crime if we have such a strong motive for the defendant sitting there.
And we've heard up to this point the defense really was, you got the wrong guy. You got the wrong person. Right. So now we're starting to get the feel that the defense is going to suggest that Grant, who was a victim, got upset with his own parents over something, killed his own parents, then killed himself. That seems to be what we're on the verge of hearing about. So we have the defense opening planned coming up very soon. We need to take a quick break before we do that. Hopefully we'll squeeze things in just perfectly, get you back into the courtroom for that opening statement in this brand new case here on the network, the Grant Amato case out of Florida. Stay where you are. We'll be right back.